All right, so this is still in circles. We are on lesson 2. So in this lesson, it's going to tell you to leave your answer in terms of pi. So let's review our formulas. If I need to find the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. The diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. Circumference equals pi d. And area equals pi times the radius squared. All right, so when it says leave in terms of pi, what that means is we are not going to put 3.14 in place of pi. We're just going to leave that pi symbol in there. All right, so it says a circle has a radius of 8 inches. Find the circumference and area. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So if my radius is 8, then my diameter would be 2 times the radius, or 2 times 8, which would give me 16 inches. So I would say circumference equals pi. I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to put 3.14 there, times 16. And the way we typically write that is put 16 in front of pi, just like we would if it was a variable. So my circumference equals 16 pi inches. And that's what it means to leave in terms of pi. We don't put any number in place of our pi symbol. Area, same thing. We start with our area formula. Area equals pi r squared. So I need to make sure I get my radius this time. So my radius was 8. So it's going to be pi times 8 squared. Okay? So I know 8 times 8 is 64. So the area equals pi times 64. And then I'm just going to rewrite that with my 64 in front. 64 pi inches squared. So it's really easier than substituting the 3.14. You're just leaving that pi. This means 64 times pi. Okay? A circle has a diameter of 18 feet. So this is the diameter. Find the circumference and area. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So circumference equals pi d. So if my diameter is 18, my radius is my diameter divided by 2, which would give me 9 feet. All right. So I would say pi, I'm not going to put 3.14 in place of it, times my diameter, which is 18. So my answer would be 18 pi feet. For area, it's pi r squared. So I've got to be sure and use my radius. So area equals pi times my radius squared. And we've already found our radius was 9. All right. And we know that pi times 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. So my final answer is 81 times pi feet squared. The circle has a radius of 40 meters. So this is my radius. Find the circumference and area. And we're going to leave it in terms of pi. So if my radius is 40, my diameter is 2 times the radius, which is 80 meters. So circumference equals pi d. So pi times my diameter, which we said was 80. So circumference equals 80 pi meters. Area is pi times the radius squared. So I'm going to leave it in terms of pi, so I'm just going to leave that pi symbol times my radius, which was 40 squared. And 40 times 40 is 1600. So area equals pi times 1600. And so I rewrite that, put in my number in front. I get 1600 pi meters squared. And that's simple as you can do a problem like this. It's just leave it in terms of pi. All right. So again, we're given the radius of 6. My diameter would be 2 times that. Circumference is 2 pi r. We've been doing pi d, but you can use 2 pi r. So 2 times pi times the radius of 6, and 2 times 6 is 12. So circumference equals 12 pi inches. The area equals pi times the radius squared, which would be 6. So the area equals pi times 36. So area equals 36 pi inches squared. Okay, whoops. I don't know what just happened. We'll go on to the next one. All right, so y'all finish that up, and I would use circumference equals pi d, and area equals pi r squared for both of these. So pause the video and work those problems. All right, so we do circumference equals pi times diameter, and if the radius is 3, my diameter is 6. So circumference equals 6 pi feet. Now the area equals pi times the radius squared, so that would be 3 squared. So area equals pi times 9, so 9 pi feet squared. All right, circumference equals pi times diameter, so pi times the diameter, which in this case is 4.5. So the circumference equals 4.5 pi kilometers. The area equals pi r squared. So area equals pi times the radius. Well, this is 4.5. 4.5 divided by 2 is 2.25. So this is going to be 2.25 squared. So the area equals 5.0625 pi. And we're going to round it off to 2 decimal places. So we get 5.06 pi kilometers squared. All right, so in this one, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to leave our answer in terms of pi. So if my radius is 5, that means my diameter is 10. Circumference equals pi d. So circumference equals pi times the diameter of 10. So my circumference would equal 10 pi millimeters. The area equals pi times my radius squared. pi times my radius, which is 5, squared. So that would be pi times 25. Or in other words, 25 pi millimeters squared. So y'all go ahead and finish the problem before you come back to class.